This is an RNZ podcast.
So I'm having a real casual day because I'm still waiting for a couple of people to catch me up so that I'm walking in the Richmond Ranges with company, so that if I have what happens to me in the Tararuas, you're not on your own and you don't just lie there unnoticed for a few days before they take your body out. And I decided, I met a British cop, a little guy, Bobby, his name was James, a British Bobby, along Anakiwa. He was walking out yesterday and he said to me, there's a pub along the road. It's probably a bit close for you tomorrow when you're heading towards Havelock. But I decided, no, bugger it, it's not too close. I'm going to call into a pub and have myself a little treat after the last few days. And here's Sandy running the pub. I saw a for sale sign out there. So we've been chatting away and it's fascinating. So Sandy, you've been here 18 years?
Yes, owned the pub for 18 years, in the valley for 42 years.
Now, you were telling me about, you've watched kids grow up in this valley now, so especially owning the pub and the restaurant and everything here, it's a bit of a gathering point for the locals.
Yes.
And now you're deciding you're going to sell up.
Yep, retiring. Going to spend time with my own grandchildren. I've sort of spent a lot of time with these people in the valley and the locals and their families, and now I'm just going to spend a bit of time with my family.
Because you were describing your job, so give us the various aspects of your job again.
Well, I mean, I'm a bit of everything. I think you need about 3 or 4 people to replace me, because you're the gardener, the cleaner, the social worker, you're just about everything here in the pub. You sort of try to solve problems and they come in for a beer and then you get the whole rundown of what their lives have been. So you try to sort of listen to them, and it's a bit of everything.
So you've done a bit of travelling over the years in the off-peak seasons, and what's the prospects lying ahead for you and your husband?
We'll probably go on a few more trips yet. We love travelling in the winter. It's always quiet here and it's quiet on the farm, so we just go off and just decide. We've got a couple of more places. We haven't been to South Africa or Alaska yet, and they're 2 of his bucket
Cool.
list towns, countries I mean, so we'll probably get there when we've built our house. We're going to sell up and then build a house up on the hill, and then we'll make a plan probably next year.
And then you'll be giving those grandkids lots of cuddles and kisses.
Yes, I do that most days. They're here most days. I think they're probably
cool.
sadder than me for me leaving, because they've, all the grandkids and my children really are, this is what they've known, this house here. It'll be sad to leave, but it's time.
Wednesday the 28th.
28th.
Last day of February.
Yep, sure.
Whoa. I'm with Paula here at the... So what do you call us? Do you call us the campground office?
So it's Pelorus Bridge campground. So you're in the middle of Pelorus Bridge, which is the scenic reserve here. Yep.
Which is an absolutely stunning spot, And so you're a local?
I probably class myself as a local, but I think I've only been here like 20 years now, so maybe not quite a local.
So it's one of those places in New Zealand where you're not a local
not
until
really.
It's like...
Born and bred from Nelson, which is about 40 minutes away from here.
So you have got a brilliant, the food you do here is just superb. It's so refreshing, because I tell you, Paula, there are a lot of holiday camps and places along the Tararuas Trail. They have not got their act together. They're selling bluebird potato chips, a selection of 3 cold fizzy drinks,
Not much.
and some dry noodles. And literally that's, when you've got people who are moving around the country, not just Tararuas travellers and stuff. So how come you put such effort into making such fine fare?
I think perhaps it's from experience of working here previously, and Pelorus Bridge has always had a good name right from when it first started here. It was the tea rooms, and I've always wanted to continue to have a good standard of what it has been in the past, and I think we're doing a pretty good job now. So
Well, fascinating. I'm heading in. I've left Pelorus. I'm heading towards Captain's Creek Hut, about 7.5, 8 hours away. Bloody late starts, 10:30 I think I left Pelorus campground. Yeah, very cool. And Paula at the Pelorus dock campsite got in there at the end of the day. She said, look, it's going to rain tonight, you guys stay in this shed that's attached to the cafe there. Very nice food, very cool indeed. So, but that is all behind now. Heading into going up Maungatapu Road, which is going to be 14k, and then another 8k, which on the trail notes say will take 4 hours, so slow going, to Captain's Creek Hut. So it's going to be, this is the start of a section of the trail that I have been almost as kind of anxious about as I was about the Tararuas. But I keep hearing more and more how stunning this section of the trail is. So it's just about not getting caught out there in bad weather. But it's pretty damn interesting, the feeling of walking into this next section. Wish me luck. Good luck, bros. Oh, thanks, mate. I'm just having to be very careful here. Some steep, it's like 2 feet wide path. But so I'm what am I? I'm 4:30, so I'm 6 hours in. I've got another 2 hours to go, or 2.5 hours to go to get to Captain's Creek Hut in the Mount Richmond Forest Park. So I'm honing in on the section of the trail that, along with the Tararuas, has had me anxious really. And I gotta say, like, it's taking, real concentration. There's a good bit of uphill happened, but a nice swing bridge over a beautiful side stream. But good Lord, not just the Emerald Pools. Well, they're all Emerald Pools, but there's one section called the Emerald Pools picnic area along the Pelorus River track. You have to walk quite a way along the gravel road, and then you veer off, and then you get to the Pelorus River track. And I think, quite honestly, so far, this is probably my favourite track of the whole Te Araroa. Oh my goodness, when you catch the glimpses of the Pelorus River, and this is, quite a way up from the Pelorus Bridge, it's just astounding. The colour of the water and the clarity, absolutely beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It is just after 6 o'clock in the evening. I have walked from Pelorus Bridge today. Been going 8.5 hours. 8 hours. 7 of which have been walking. Only had the one break today. Oh my goodness. Just saw that I'm 300 meters. I saw before that I was 700 meters from Captain's Creek Hut, and in the current terrain, 700 meters is like just about half an hour of walking. It's that sort of terrain. And I just looked at the map, GPS map again. Hopefully this track sidles back down toward the river a bit, because I am so keen to go down, get into me undies, maybe even skinny dip into one of the pools in the Pelorus River, if there is one there. There's quite a bit of rapid stuff down there. And I'm just about at the dock hut. if there were awards for best place to brush your teeth in the universe, the known universe, I would nominate this as my particular nomination, I think, thus far in my 62 years. This, on the banks of the river, is just glorious. Pelorus River, upstream by the Captain's Creek hut. Down here, filling up the water bottle, water filter pouch. So I'll filter that water tonight, and I'll filter another litre in the morning. Oh, there's a rock. Still here, Pelorus River by night. And we stand on the side of the river and I just introduced Bevan to duck farts. I know some of you who might be my era, when you throw a stone, especially a flat sort of circular stone, throw it up into the air so it's spinning heaps. But here's the sound of a duck fart for those to remind you who might have heard of it. Ooh, that was Bevan one. Here's one. There we go. That's a duck fart. Spinning flat. There we go. Ooh. Yes. Always a biggie. That was a different kind of fart. Sounded like it was a liquid. Early afternoon, Thursday, 1st of March. This section of track, I'm doing a very short day, just 5 hours today from Captain's Creek hut to Rock's hut, and it says in the trail notes, climbs steadily 600 meters, and you kind of think, yeah, okay. I've been like half an hour at this rate of breathing and this rate of walking. Steep tree roots. Woo! Yo! I've just made the top of that climb, and I can see ahead that there will be another climb to come. But, when you get to a top of a climb, this 18 kg on your back, and you know you're doing probably just over 1 kilometre an hour, and then it evens out to a nice, still got lots of tree roots and stuff, but a reasonably flat little section. Suddenly you feel like you have this lightness. Yeah, it carries on. I've got 2 months, 2 more months of this. Okay, coming down a steep decline here, so I think I better stop multitasking and get back to the monotasking.
The Long Way Home is produced by Bruce Hopkins and Justin Gregory. The executive producer is Tim Watkin. The engineer is Blair Stagpool. You can subscribe to every episode of the Long Way Home podcast at Apple Podcasts, used to be known as iTunes, or at Radio Public, Spotify, and at radionz.co.nz/series. While you're there, please rate us. That way more people get to hear these stories. If you go to the Long Way Home webpage at rnz.co.nz, you'll find an interactive map that follows Bruce as he walks to Aotearoa. Bruce is also on Twitter at BruceHop, so get in touch if you've got tips, questions, or can offer him a bed, a meal, or a hot shower somewhere along the way. He'd really appreciate it. You can also email him at thelongwayhome@radionz.co.nz. As you've heard, Bruce is heading into some remote country, and there's a tiny chance that from time to time he won't be able to send us content. Now, if that should happen, there will still be a new episode for you each Monday, and we'll catch up with Bruce and his adventures when he's back in an area with good coverage, promise you. Until next time, this is The Long Way Home. Whenua, whakapapa, whānau. Follow us.